Okay, we should have Mumble unmuted now, so let's just do an audio check quickly.
I'm Duckfist, hello.
Alright, how are we doing, everybody?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Speaking of audio check, can you make sure the game audio is good? Like, the best part about this run is the music, so make sure that's well heard.
Yep, I'm doing a check right here to make sure audio is coming through on my end. Can you hear us okay? There's not
I can
like
hear you just fine.
Imbalance? Alright.
Oh, you mean the stream? Yeah, let's get that situated.
Alright, looks like we've got the all clear from the people that matter. The dedicated fans. Alright, let me just slide this into a better position there. And we'll clear the clock. And I think we're ready whenever you are here, so go ahead and let me know when you're good to go.
Just trying to provoke the stream here, but let's actually get some names in. So, small disclaimer, there's a 33% chance that I have to reset about 30 seconds into the run. Goal. Alright, I've worked on this.
Oh wow, we're getting a name change here. I was expecting the usual crew.
A little bit of shoutouts to ABCDZFG. Let's see.
Well, if I play anything like I do when I usually play Final Fantasy, I'm not going to be much use in this party, but we'll find out.
Well, you are the only person that does anything in the party, really. Well, okay, Zosti will be the hero for the first, like, 30 minutes of the game, and then it's all golden. The other two are just corpses.
I like that.
Support. So, yeah, feel free to... Yeah, that seems to work.
I love it. Alright.
So, feel free, it's probably going to be hard to commentate. It is, like, one of the longer runs, I know how much you guys like long, drawn-out, repetitive JRPGs with turn-based battle systems, but this is actually going to be pretty quick, about 2 hours for that kind of genre, but Golden, feel free to ask questions and stuff. I had an FAQ going, but it didn't save a bunch of recent changes, so I don't even want to post it, but I'll try to commentate as best as I can.
Alright,
yeah. Some of this shit going on.
I want everybody to know, by the way, I specifically picked this game because I really enjoy watching this run, so... Ooh. Final Fantasy haters, come at me. I'm a big fan of the classic Final Fantasies.
Cool. Well, I'm glad to hear that. It's a really cool game. And on that, let's get it started. So here's the countdown. If you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so disclaimer, the early part of the game is somewhat slow. There's a very particular setup in order to have a solid late game. And abuse some of these glitches. A very particular setup. Okay, so I don't have to reset. If I got 4 goblins, I'd have to reset because that'd give Golden too much experience. You need to get some experience, but not level up, and then I have to kill you. So you have to have some experience and remain at level 1 for this glitch later on in the game to work properly. Okay. And ideally, the first battle will be 2 rounds, and it was, so that's good. And hopefully we can get you killed and end the next battle in 2 rounds as well. So this is one of the few areas where I'm actually picking up items. Okay, this is a good battle arrangement. We should have this in 2 rounds as long as nobody misses Golden here. There you go. Come on, take him down, take him down. Yes, okay. He's dead. And we'll revive him as Jesus in about, I don't know, a few minutes here. He comes back for just a little bit of assistance in the Jin fight, and then you die again until you get super powered, so. Alright, so I have to follow an exact path throughout the entire game. Like, I have all the steps planned out exactly. I need to do this in order to manipulate where all the battles occur at. Let's see here. We unequip Golden. Lovely corpse. For some safe strats, we give these 2 guys shields. And use pizza's gonna take your knife. Do some
He
extra
would do
damage.
that after killing me.
That's the type of guy he is.
Shoot it
Stealing
and
the
loot it.
speedruns. And these are some of the only random battles you'll actually see in the game that I actually fight through. There's a couple of random battles later on that are strictly for item drop manipulation, but these ones you just have to truck through. And actually, that was the last one. I skipped the next one. And that Southwind, it's a really important item. It's a battle item that deals quite a bit of damage for being so early on in the game. So right there, I just skipped a battle. There, right before, okay, when I went to the menu there, the next step actually that I would take would be a battle. If you're in the menu and you use any healing item or spell, it calculates RNG, and for some reason when it does that, and you're on the overworld when you do that, it advances your steps by 1, so it pretty much skips the next battle if there is one.
Right, so just to word it a different way in case people aren't familiar, your battles are all determined by a set number of steps, and you're using that knowledge to reset the step counter by healing yourself?
Yes, that's right. Or advance the step counter by 1, actually.
Okay, so you're moving it past when you would get a battle.
Yep, that's exactly right. And that technique will actually be used extensively throughout the run. That is one of the three major strategies throughout the entire route. Damn. Hopefully Use Pizza doesn't die here. This is supposed to be a safe strat, where I don't use a Southwind in this battle, so I have an extra one for the Jin fight. But because of that, the battle lasts a little longer, and Land Turtle can deal out some serious damage, so... I'm gonna die here. That should be okay if they do, though. It would just be a little longer. There we go. Land Turtle. One of the few bosses fought normally. Yeah, okay. The next bosses fought somewhat normally. And now we take a break. Lovely intro. Got about 2 minutes to chill out here.
Alright, well let's go ahead and read some donations here. We've got $69,420 from Poop Feast 420. He says, I'm done trolling the StarCraft community. I'm going to start trolling the speedrunning community. Thank you, Poop Feast 420.
Shoutouts to Poop Feast 420. 69. 420. Yeah, this is the translated version of the game. This is that famous, 1999 translation. It's done really well. It's kind of silly that they changed some of the text in this intro here to shout themselves out, but I guess that's okay. And I'm actually playing this on Famicom. I have a cart that has that patch flashed on it, so this is original hardware and everything.
That's pretty cool.
Figured it'd be worth it for such a great game. And the service was pretty cheap. I think it was at nesreproductions.com. This guy does it as a service, and it was only like $30. I just provided a donor card, which is the same card as the original game. And he patched it and replaced the battery for me, and that was it. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I know one of the big issues with Final Fantasy especially is that disparity between the Japanese releases and the US releases, so for a fan to be able to play this on original hardware in English is a pretty cool thing.
Yes. Really awesome. Glad I was able to do it. Alright, let's see. I have to remove everybody's equipment here. Now there's a really precise menuing portion coming up. I can't miss menu or else I'll be in serious trouble when I start to buy items here. And why I'm doing some of the stuff I'm doing, I can't quite explain, but it's too involved to explain. But in general, I'm trying to set up for this trick that I'm going to perform in the next boss fight called the max inventory glitch, or that's what I call it. It'll help me corrupt, Zosti? Player 2's stats. It'll help me corrupt player 2's stats, and it's a pretty particular setup. Some pretty bad old lady RNG right there, but we made it through. So, the way the setup kind of works is I need to use a whole bunch of items in battle, and then kind of cancel them out, and the items will drop into the player stats table if the inventory is filled. Short, that's what's going on. but I need to have a very particular inventory arrangement for that to work. I have to buy exactly the right items, exactly the right amounts of each item. If I have too many or too less, I screw it up and I have to redo it. So this would be 10 knives, 4 knives, 8 daggers, 4 longs, 1 dagger. So pretty much all these weapons that I'm buying, with the exception of the knives are used to fill up my inventory, as are the shields. But the knife, daggers, and long swords, potions, antidotes, and eye drops will all be used and then cancelled and then dropped into the stats table. There's about 19 different items that are dropped into the stats table. I have to make it through Golden's stats first. Oops, double heal. Okay. Make it through Golden stats first, and then Zosti's stats. It's important that it makes it to Zosti's. His is several memory addresses down the table, so that's why it takes so long to do, but he will carry the run through the big rat fight. That's the whole reason I have to superpower Zosti, is to be able to survive the big rat fight. A little bit of a safe strat here, marathon strat. Just picking up some extra items. Mostly it's for this thing called the Zeus Rage right here, which is just an extra damaging item that'll ensure that if I get bad damage values, I have something else to actually attack with. And the extra stuff is just helping to fill up my inventory, saving a couple of seconds that I don't have to do that in battle. And here I revive everybody. So Golden's coming back, but he's at 1 HP. I want to keep him at 1 HP so I can kill him in the first turn of the next fight. Oh god, okay. Almost had bad ghost RNG there. And here's Sid. He's going to lend me his airship, so I can go to the altar, the Cave of the Seal. This location here. Alright, I have extensive notes, like 50 pages of notes, so I have to micromanage that while I play through this.
Yeah, this is a very specific speedrun. You've got to be precise all over the place.
Yeah, I can't misstep anywhere. I have to follow an exact path. If I misstep anywhere, then I get into battles accident. So here's a safe strat. I'm going to make a save here. And if I mess this fight up, I can come back. I have the route planned out in case I messed up. Some menuing and a battle skip right here. Don't accidentally heal Golden. Alright, so we gotta arrange our items.
So conceptually, this is very similar to Worcester's Pokemon Gold Run, for instance. Just writing over different stats in memory.
Right. And in this case, it is all of these items that I have in my inventory that'll drop into the stats table. And the items, they all have a quantity of 1, which isn't very big, but their ID that keeps track of which items they are is a very large value, so I can use that to my advantage. Drop large values into any slot in my stats table that is a 0. I'm just double checking here to make sure I equip the right stuff. In this case, Golden's level is 1, or in memory it's 0, so I can overwrite his level later on, using that principle. But I can't do it with max inventory glitch, sadly. It has to be done a slightly different way. Very important that I don't accidentally heal you when I'm doing these skips here. Well, I have to stop using potions. I need exactly 3 potions for the next part. So I'm going to teach Cure to Zosti, and changing his job and rezzing lets him cast Cure, and I can use that cast to skip that battle that happened right there. And we pick up some useless NPC that something storyline. Not really sure. Okay, so one of the most critical parts of the run is coming up. It's the Jin fight. So I've probably spent about 3 minutes doing the max inventory glitch. It takes several phases to get done, and it has to be done very precisely. This menuing screws it, I have to restart at that save. And then I have to actually kill him as well. And there's a chance that I won't kill him due to bad damage RNG, but should be able to kill him. Skip that battle, and here's an extra Southwind I'll need this during the fight. So I have the 2 south winds that I picked up in the altar cave, and then that one. Use them all in this next raid. Because of course I'm skipping all the battles here, and my characters are super low level. Alright, this is the last battle skip in this area. Alright, Jin Fight Hype. I'm gonna probably stay quiet for this section as I concentrate and make sure I do all the menuing correctly. There's about 19 items need to get cancelled properly, and I have it broken up into 7 phases. I can have multiple characters use items as long as by the time it gets to the last guy, all of that particular item in that round have been used. So in this case, the round is daggers. So that, now that I used both daggers, there's an empty slot in the inventory where the daggers were, right there. And now, using this nice trick, with a large stack of knives and shields, you can equip and unequip them, and it slowly places one at a time into the inventory, slowly filling up your inventory. Including that space that I used the daggers on. It'll fill that up, so there won't be any spaces for the daggers. Then I'll cancel the other 3 players' turns, forcing the daggers to go into the stats table. And then I just repeat with all the other items, ensuring that I don't end this turn until I'm all done. Something I want to be careful about is not to accidentally select run with this character. That would end the turn and end the run. Let's hope we don't have to use that save point. Okay, it's filled. Alright. Phase 2. I glitched the game out. Oh man, I forgot something critical. Okay. So, backup strats time.
This is why we save.
I'm so glad I did this. Alright.
You can see how precise it is, though. I mean...
I accidentally glitched his job, basically.
It is very, very accurate.
That's a job glitch for you. So, okay, let's rearrange the items once again. Okay, this is the critical thing I forgot to do. Change Golden to a Red Whiz. Because Golden was an onion, his job was 0 in the stats table. So one of the items that I used dropped into his job slot, corrupting it to some crazy high value job. And a corrupted job gives you a corrupted command list. And unless you know, so there's certain commands that will work and do crazy shit like warp you to the credits. But there's other commands that just, actually most of the other commands just crash the game straight up. I've tested this second route once, so I hope it works out. This route will converge with my other route in about 10 minutes. Still have 3 potions, Teach Cure to Zost once again. That's the first time I've really messed up a run on stream of this game. By the way.
Don't worry about it.
But what's nice is after I'm finishing doing all the glitches, I can freely mess up. Like, all it does will slow me down like 30 seconds per mistake. But early on, mess-ups are critical. Because I can't get... if I accidentally get into any battles here, I can't survive the battle. Take this a little slower because I'm not used to these battle tiles here. That one should be it, and of course one more. And in the backup strat, it's a little slower because I get into a suboptimal amount of... I have to skip any encounters early on. And I end up using a little bit too much MP, so I have to do like an extra healing trip. There's no more battles here, right? Okay, let's try that again. I'm glad it at least messed up in the first phase, and it wasn't like... There's 7 phases. Alright, once again. Those daggers. Alright. Again, there's a chance that Jin could end the run as well. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. I've only had it happen once, out of several attempts, but it's still very possible. At least you get to enjoy the awesome boss music. Now his battle commands are not glitched, luckily. This is because he's a red mage, non-zero job. And equip 2 knives. And antidotes on this phase. Whip a dagger. And that extra spot left by the 3 daggers has been filled. Okay. We use those daggers. We fill it up. It's the potions round. With those daggers. Use a potion. And use Pizza has 1 dagger on him. Off. And fill the inventory. Phase 5, use daggers. Fill inventory. Almost done. Whip a dagger. It's the dagger. Whip 2 long swords. It's a long sword. Whip the last long sword. Fill the inventory. Eye drops. That's the last one. Did this very slowly, so I hope it was correct. Fill all the inventory. inventory one more time. Okay. Alright, come on, let's do it. High damage, 184. Fuck, okay, that sucks. I have to use 2 south winds. There's a chance the run could end here. Okay, at least Golden killed himself. Okay. This guy, hopefully he does high damage. Zost will go first, but he really needs to do high damage. Let's see. Come on. 250 plus. Shit, okay, so... Alright, we made it, we made it. If Jin targeted Poochie again, that would have been bad, but I think we got it.
Oh. That is very intense.
It's surprisingly intense. Just because of how particular it needs to be. Like, Golden, the first player, for some reason, during all those phases, if I accidentally select item or accidentally like move the cursor in a wrong way, it messes up. But just for him, because his stats are currently are like corrupted throughout the entire fight. And if I like accidentally misclick, a lot of the corrupted values can go back to 0, and I won't have enough items to finish the trick out.
So, just to remind everybody what just went down there, do you want to quickly explain what the result of doing that was?
Yes, I'll show you. Alright, Zosty has a skill level of H5 and about some couple million experience. Golden is also skill level H6 with quite a bit of experience as well. But Golden's is not as critical as Zost's. Golden needs to remain dead until I can perform the 99 items trick, which is a glitch coming up later. But Zost is going to carry the team in the meantime. Having a high skill level will let him do insane damage with his spells. And having a high experience will let him gain 1 level per battle. And that'll let me grind much faster. Alright, so... this is the backup route. I have to skip some battles here. Normally I don't have to. Okay. And now we go back to Kazus. Grab Sid. Have some dude, like, modify our airship to be, like, this crazy kamikaze exploding airship of some kind. Yeah. It's important to buy ice here. Give that to Zost, and he'll be able to do some good damage and gain levels pretty fast. It's up here. Oh, this NPC RNG is horrible. Alright. And, even though I said, yeah, I have to follow a very particular path, some areas don't actually advance the step counter for encounters, such as towns and just some random areas. So I'm free to misstep in towns, which is good because NPCs are dicks. So from now until the big rat fight is kind of a grinding session, a little bit. I just have to get to the right area. I think this is a battle. And we dump Sid off at this town for whatever reason. You can do a bunch of shit here, but it's pointless, so... go to Road to the Summit. I'm not used to these battle skip locations, but there are only 3 of them instead of 4 like in the normal route, but I did do 2 extra battle skips trying to get here, so I will have a net total of 1 extra battle skip of 1 less MP up to this point. So we need to teach Ice to Zost. Row everybody for extra defense. And even extra defense, he's going to be dual-wielding shields. Some of this gear. Alright. Here, so no battle there. So I'm doing a whole lot of battle skips. Actually, fun fact, there's about 188 total battles that I skipped throughout the entire run. That's a lot of wasted time.
I was going to say, I think some of the other Final Fantasy runners wish they could do the same.
Yeah, that's why the run is only about 2 hours. Alright, let's see. Should be the sweet spot. It's not as critical if I accidentally get into a battle here. I just don't prefer it because the enemies are a little stronger. Right. I had to pick up that arrow spell, actually, because I used the 99 items trick to turn it into something else. So you saw the max inventory glitch just a while back, and it let me alter a few stats of my first couple of characters. The other critical glitch in the game we call the 99 items trick. It works similarly, but instead of filling up your inventory, you instead have a stack of 99 items, and when you win a battle and get an item that's the same item type as the items in that stack, the game's not really sure what to do. It tries to place the item after your stack of 99, but it does a really bad job at that. So like if you have another item right after your stack of 99, actually 2 spaces after the stack, you can alter it. You can actually change that item to other items. And I'm going to change that arrow into, I think it's Toad. Additionally, if you place the stack of 99 items at the end of the inventory, let's see. Let me just start getting into these battles and I'll finish my explanation. First battle, hard reset. Okay, that's a little different. So yeah, this is a small grinding session. I gotta get into 9 battles. I just used ice on my team. That would have been bad. There's actually a spot later on that I'm supposed to cast Ice 2 on my team, and I don't even know why I tried to do it right there. But, anyways, that high skill level will hopefully let Zost one-shot all these guys, and hopefully let him go first every round as well. Also, as a safe strat, I'm doing 2 save files every time I need to save. Because sometimes, very rarely, if you turn the game off too quickly after making a save, the save disappears. So, I don't want that to happen. Anyways, back to the 99 items trick. If I place a stack of 99 items at the very end of the inventory, the player's stats tables are right after the inventory in memory. So that extra item that I get goes past the stack of 99 and into the stats table. And the way it does it is a little different than the max inventory glitch. It lets me corrupt different stats. Really good stats, actually, like level and HP. So that's critical. You'll see more of that coming up, but for now, let's just finish the grind. Got about 7 battles to go after this. As you can see, since Zost has massive experience, he gains 1 level per battle no matter how much experience I get. The idea is to get him up to level 13. That way he has enough MP to cast Ice 2 enough times against the next boss. And the reason that this setup is so particular is mostly around doing the 99 items trick as early as possible. And to do that, I need potions. For one, I don't have enough money to buy a bunch of potions at this point in the game. And additionally, there's no reliable potion drops on the world map until after the big rat fight. Alright. Battle, and then we heal. So because of that, I have to survive up through the big rat fight without the 99 items trick. So that's why I have that complicated, like, max inventory glitch set up to get Zost kind of powered. I mean, you can't power up somebody as much as you can as the 99 items trick as you can with the max inventory glitch, like I said, but I can power him up enough to make it through big rat. Get out of the way. Alright. 1 more battle, and then something. Damn it, dude. No, the reason why the setup is so particular for Big Rat is because you have to fight him in mini sets. So I have to cast mini on my entire team to actually reach the guy. So 6 battles in, should be level 10. Yeah, he's level 10. Or off at this spot.
So if I understand this correctly, you could have taken this glitch further from the get-go, but that kind of makes the different categories then, depending on how far you take it? Is that...
Yes.
How
the max inventory glitch can be used to glitch out your job. And you saw that when I messed up. I accidentally glitched out Golden's job. I wasn't prepared for it, so I attempted to select item on him, but he was some funky corrupted job, and the item ability was replaced with something that crashed the game, pretty much.
Okay.
But if you have a really particular setup, like, and you give him, if you use a certain item to corrupt his job becomes a certain value, and you use a certain job command at the right time, you can do stuff like warp straight to the credits. There's actually an end the battle command that you can access that just ends whatever battle you're in, you get no experience.
Well, that's convenient.
There's also something you can call riding the glitched airship, which lets you kind of get the airship early on, sort of. And it glitches the game out heavily, and you can kind of skip some areas. It's really weird. And you can do other stuff too. You can glitch out the inventory, it fills your inventory with random items. You can do a bunch of weird stuff, but I think the route is pretty interesting without that capability. I mostly want to avoid skipping to the credits, which just kind of lames the whole thing.
Yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose, absolutely.
Because the game can be completed in about 7 minutes with that situation. Alright, so that's the end of the grinding session. Have to cast Mini to enter Torzos, this town of dwarves here. Oh shit, gotta bring up the regular route. Our routes have converged at this point. Okay.
And while you're doing that, I'd like to remind everybody that during this run, we'll be taking donations to determine what the best Final Fantasy is, so be sure to click that donate question mark button underneath the stream. Let your dollars do the talking.
I'm gonna go with Final Dragon Fantasy Quest 3 as the best Final Fantasy. Alright, so I had to buy an antidote so I can give it to this sickly person here, and it opens up a passage of some sort. I also pick up Cure 2, which I can glitch using the 99 items trick into a spell that I would normally have to go out of my way to get. And this is the Hidden Road. This is a very high encounter rate area. And I cannot miss any of these battles. I pretty much can't survive if I get into any of them. Next one. It's also important that Zost doesn't accidentally level up. That can mess things up as well. He needs to be at certain levels, or else his stats will change unexpectedly. And that can make the calculation of some RNG values different, and that'll screw up my battle manipulations for the 99 items trick. I'll explain a little bit more about how I manipulate that when I get there. Okay, that is the last battle of the Hidden Road. I'll be much more relaxed once I make it through the big rat fight, because the game up until then is, like, on a thread. As you could tell, like, in the Jin fight at least, when I had to randomly reset when crashing the game. That could have been easily prevented, but forgetting a single thing caused that to crumble. Two over here. Oh, dude, my coffee's already cold. This is bad. Alright, hopefully this sailor doesn't... Okay, good. Guy can wander into this thin passage right here and block my exit. It's happened once. Hopefully, yeah. I hope it never happens in a series run here. And we have a backup strat save, because there is a slight chance I could lose the big rat fight, but I've never actually lost it before. I can imagine myself losing it, though. It's important that I teach Zost Ice too. Okay. So when moving around on the world map or on the field like this, see that water area there? Actually, if you try to move up against a water tile, for every frame that you're holding the direction against the water tile, it acts like a step. So it's if I accidentally touch any water tiles,
you're advancing the RNG.
I advance the RNG greatly. So that'll make battles just come much earlier, and it'll take a while to catch up. So I have to step very carefully around those water tiles.
That is crazy.
It's kind of weird, yeah. There's some other random tiles, like that boulder that I busted does the same thing. You can actually, the task goes up to that. Okay, the old task that was really good. Goes up to that boulder and just like does, I don't know, it's weird. Anyways, big rat fight, Ice 2. Let's hope for some good damage here. As a backup strat, I use a Zeus Rage, in case I don't do enough damage. And super backup strat, I use a potion on Zost in case he gets nuked on the first turn. 348, that's some sick damage. Okay, we got this. Yeah, so Zost got nuked a little bit. Wow, I almost ended that in one turn. That would've been crazy.
Yeah, looks like some good numbers coming up there.
So usually Big Rat will attack player 3, but he nuked Zost right there. So if he nuked Zost again on that turn and he went first, that run would be over. But Big Rat down, so we can safely relax now. Sort of. I have to make sure I do this glitching coming up properly. But it's not that critical that I have room to make mistakes, that is. Okay. Very low encounter rate in this area. There's only one more battle here. Okay, coming up to those water tiles. Gotta be careful. Alright, he's out of MP, so I got a potion. Okay. Alright, so I had to do all that nonsense so I could actually exit this area on the boat. Nepto blocks your exit until you do this whole thing and retrieve his eye. Right. And we got the boat. That's the spot right there.
I'm on a boat.
The boat music is so good. Just relax and sit back. Okay, so remember when I said potions were really expensive? I can finally afford them at this point because you can loot this castle and it has a shitload of cash just stashed in here. Just like a 10,000 gil, just some of these easily accessible passages. And strangely enough, there's no encounters in this area, but your steps are advancing when you're walking around. So basically throughout this I had to go through with an emulator and use a bunch of tools to see, you know, what areas actually advanced RNG, and then I took a whole bunch of screenshots at all of the places along the path that have encounters, and I'm following that exactly. Shit, okay, so I want to go here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if maybe, not during the run, just because it would be inconvenient, but at the end of the run, if you want to show your document on stream, it's pretty cool, I think, just the amount of detail.
Sure, yeah.
So maybe we'll show that at the end.
Ooh, I did this incorrectly, but that's okay, whatever. I hard reset instead of soft reset. That reset my steps RNG. But for the moment, that's not a big deal because I have a planned hard reset coming up very soon. Let's see, everybody's alive except for Golden, which is good. Now all I have to do is buy the 99 potions. Buy one eye drop. I'm actually going to. I thought this was pretty cool. I recently routed this extra kind of part coming up here. In order to max out Golden's HP, I have to either get 2 potion drops in one battle, which is ridiculously hard to get. So low chance of actually that happening, and I couldn't find one. So instead, I do the max inventory glitch in the same battle that I get the potion drop to fill one spot in the inventory, and then the potion that I get fills the last spot. Oh, that'll be coming up in just a moment. Some safety saves here. I'll probably have to soft reset. Suck. Ah, instantly. Just bear with me, guys. Setting up. And that should be the spot. Now we have 99 potions. I'm going to move them to the bottom spot in the inventory. Turns out the... Oh, whoops. I just brain farted. I don't know why. Okay. So that was the manipulation right there. I should get into a battle that this will be a first strike encounter, and I'll cast Ice 2 on the first turn and win a potion. Now, for some reason I had a huge brain fart. I might have to do that again. Potion. Am I an idiot? Let's see. No. Oh, wait. Yes. Okay, so let's change that. For some reason, I forgot if it was the bottom slot or the bottom left or the bottom right slot. It's the bottom right slot. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. Okay. Alright. Okay, so the way this kind of manipulation works is I've planned this encounter out at this exact spot, and I entered that encounter on a certain frame from reset. So I actually so I hold the start button and I power on or power off and on, and by holding the start, it skips the cutscene at the very beginning immediately. And the timer's actually not ticking while you're in the save file select screen. So I select a save and hold left as the game starts up. That'll ensure that I get into a battle on a particular frame. Pretty nice. So, let's see. Shields. So just potions. Am I stupid? I put the potions in the right spot, right? Okay, good. Okay, so this is we're glitching out his HP here. Just to show you what that last battle did, his level is now G7. Interesting.
That is a very high number.
That is 166, actually. Okay, so here's the combination battle where I do the max inventory glitch. So, oh man, I put the items in a bad spot. Oh well. It's harder to get to now. Now I'm filling up the inventory once again. And even though I'm manipulating the outcome of this battle, I can sit here and do this menuing without the RNG changing. So anything you do before your turn is over will not affect the RNG throughout the course of the battle. But once your turn is over, everything matters, like which enemies you attack, what level you are, sort of. What level you are determines how many hits you do, and also how many hits you can take. So, anytime any of those occurrences happen, it shuffles the RNG slightly differently. So this setup is very particular in the turns that I do, so that RNG is the correct RNG values are calculated that I want. That lets a potion drop. This battle. So just filling up the inventory. That eye drop that I use, I'm going to cancel it out, and that'll go into actually Golden's current HP. He has a current HP of 0. And he'll remain temporarily at a non-zero current HP, even though he's dead for the end of the battle. And the potion that I win, since all of Golden's values, all of his stat values are non-zero up until his max HP value, the potion drops into his max HP. It actually drops into the large bite of his max HP. So the value of the potion is multiplied by 255. That becomes his HP. And the value of a potion is 166, so it's pretty massive. Okay. So I've canceled out that eye drop. Golden should have a non-zero HP. I'll win that potion. He becomes God. Nice. Alright. Now a little bit of setup here. Once again. 99 B6 HP. Not bad. It's actually about 42,000.
Sounds good to me.
So the idea is, okay, I have a guy at level 166 with 42,000 HP. Surely I can survive every battle in the game at this point. Let's finish this setup. We do the max inventory glitch a few more times to corrupt items into some other items, like I was mentioning earlier. You know, for the last couple of ones that I did, I placed the potions at the end of the inventory so that the new potions drop into the stats table. But now I'm going to... I think I have to rest at the end again. I forgot to change your job. But anyways, now I'm going to move the potions around and use them to convert some items into some other items, letting me skip other portions of the game. Unequip. What's nice about Final Fantasy III is you can swap magic with anybody, so you don't get kind of stuck who has which spells. So I had to change your job back and forth from Red Wiz back to Red Wiz so that your high level will now reflect your stats. So you now have massive stats. Check it out.
Very cool.
Alright, so I should have done that before resting at the end, so you now have no MP, so I have to rest at the end again. That's my bad. No worries, we're still on pace to get about like a 2-hour, 15-minute time. Setup. I don't know where these battles are going to happen at, so I do this other strat where I kind of save it, wait for the battle to happen, and soft reset. Just hit the reset button instead of hard reset. That'll let me skip past that battle. Okay, so here's the item corruption coming up. Potion and arrow. Potions are placed 2 slots before arrow. And also during the course of that stuff. Oh no, never mind. Golden's going to be doing the damage now, so I can't use that previous encounter. I have a different encounter planned out for this one, and it's at this location. And it's a nice location because the majority of the time is spent traveling on the boat, so it can be done really fast. And once again, it's a strike first 2-knocker encounter where I go on the first turn. There's the potion, so that Cure 2 should have turned into something lovely. I think it's... Oh, I'm sorry, that was Arrow into Toad. So here's Cure 2. That'll turn into Exit. I do that because I need Toad for the next dungeon, and Exit is just handy in general. After you kill a boss, you can just warp out really fast. I could go get those skills normally, but it takes a little too long. It's easy. It's easier just to fabricate them with the arrow and the Cure 2 that you collect along the way. And the reason that the 99 items trick is able to turn those items into other items is that it drops, so when you get the potion, you get one potion, and that quantity 1 is added to the item that you placed 2 spaces after the potions. But the quantity 1 is actually added to the item's ID value, changing it into the next item in the table. I'm also going to do that for this Water Fang. That'll turn it into an Earth Fang. And just sit tight, guys. Just got to do this like 3 more times, and then we're just going to cruise through the rest of the game. We'll have the early game setup will be done. Okay, the Water Fang is now an Earth Fang. We do that one more time with the Earth Fang, and we get a nice critical item that lets me skip a massive portion of the mid to late game. Notice Zos is still gaining levels, Poochie and Used Pizza are kind of gaining levels, but it doesn't really matter. They're pretty much just dead weights at this point.
They're along for the ride.
Yeah. I mean, they're here for support, of course. So now I have a loot, which is a handy item to have. Some skips here. This is a marathon strat. Why did I put the toads down there? Alright, so I'm going to turn these... So, for some reason, on the shields... I'm sorry, for both the shields and the helmets, the weakest shield and helmet, leather shield, leather helmet, the next item in the table is the strongest of both. So I'm turning both of these leather helmets into onion helmets. Which prevent a shitload of status ailments. And I'm going to equip one for the late game as a kind of a marathon strat, because there's a slight chance that I can be petrified by a boss. I'm also going to do this for the shields. I have 13 of them, and I'll get 13 onion shields, which will let me sell them for like 1,000,000 gil or something, so I'll have enough cash to buy items for the next 99 items trick roundup, which happens in about an hour. This is the last battle here. Okay, kind of got to do this weird thing here. This is kind of like a band-aid on top of this route adapted from emulator. This is the last hard reset for a little while. To a particular spot here. Is that potion? Now we can return to the route. And that's it for the corrupted item setup. We're just gonna kind of walk through the game, so enjoy the music and the sights. Shit, let's see, magic. Oh shit, it's not soaked with magic now, it's gold. I gotta teach him Toad and Exit. Forgot about that. I make everybody Toads. This was the whole reason of fabricating the Toad spell from that other spell just a minute ago. You need Toad to enter that little hole right there.
Interesting.
Otherwise, you have to go to this town that's just like kind of far away. It only saves like a couple of minutes actually just to fabricate the Toad right there, but it's kind of neat, you know, small time saver. Why not? just skipping through the battles here. There's 7 more battles in this area. It's right there. I guess it's a little faster to use the potions to skip. I'll just do that. Weird hidden path you just kind of have to know is there. Alright, we're almost out of here. That's the spot.
So if you really wanted to, would that glitching let you dig down to your 3rd and 4th party members, or is it, is it one of those instances where it just wastes time to add extra stats down there, or is it not possible?
It is possible. Probably not that early on in the game, because there's just not enough items to buy.
Sure.
Like, notice when I was doing it, I was making sure that I had exactly 3 of each item.
Okay.
Or two or 3 of each item. That would let 2 or 3 of the party members use all of that item, and then it makes an empty slot where that item was. And then I can use the other guy to fill that slot up. So
Sure.
you can't really do it with any more than 3 of a particular item at a time. So I would need to have enough of a variety of items to do that.
Okay.
Which, should be possible, but not at that point in the game. Like, pretty much the only choices I have to buy are antidotes, long swords, daggers. Oh, dude, Zost survived. What the hell, man?
Zost is
So
a tank.
I nuked the team right there, so I don't have to input as many commands for the next several battles. But Zost survived, so I'm just gonna keep him up. So as you can see, like, level 166 character casting Ice 2 is pretty effective against bosses. Nerf Golden.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is a bad lesson for people out there. You can sleep through life and gain immense power.
Yeah. And you have to sit here and stare at this thing for a few seconds for some reason. But yeah, so you're right. If I continue to cancel items out, the whole of player 2's stats table, or Zost's stats table, would be filled, and it'd start to overflow onto Poochie's table, actually.
Okay.
It's not really, it wasn't really necessary for that. It's enough to have just one guy be strong enough to take out the big rat. Alright. Doing the battle skips on the boat is kind of tough, because it's hard to... The visual cues are harder to see, and you move a little faster. And I had to cast Toad there. Again, there is a Toad section coming up. I don't know what it is about requiring Toad to enter some areas, but yeah.
It wouldn't be a Final Fantasy if it didn't have quirks like that.
Yeah, there you go. I think I buy 2 turbines, yeah. So these, Golden's gonna remain a red mage. This will just let him use spells when he needs them, and turns out Turving, the swords that I just bought are the strongest items, the strongest weapon for a red mage. So you can now do some serious damage with physical attack. Slot is right here. And for some reason, just due to the way the steps work, there's about 70 steps here with no encounters. So different areas of the game have a different number of encounters out of... So, the way your steps RNG works is there is 256 values of steps. Each time you take a step, it increments by 1. And depending on which area you're in, you get into a battle at certain values. I'm in a very low encounter rate area, and there's only like 6 battles that occur out of those 256 steps. Some higher encounter areas can have up to like 20 or even like 30 battles out of the 256. And then once the counter gets high enough and reaches the value 255 or reaches the value 0, it either wraps back around to 0 or it starts to reverse.
Okay, so it could snake backwards through the
Right,
numbers.
so
okay.
Whether or not it reverses or cycles back around through the values of 256 steps is also fixed when you power on and off the game. So when you power on and off the game, it's like, okay, the first time your counter reaches 255, it'll go backwards. The second time, it'll go forwards, and the third time, it'll go forwards. Order is consistent from the very beginning. Because of that, I can plan out the entire route and when battles occur at every point. Let's see. So we got this dwarf horn thing. Just some story stuff. Mysterious line following me. Nothing to see here. This is not an enemy in disguise. Let's enter the critical sanctuary zone of our culture. Unknowingly exposing ourselves. Oops. We had some kind of Dark Lord guy following us. Who'd have thought?
Oh, man.
I was not prepared for that cliche.
When will Final Fantasy characters learn they need to protect their goods?
Exactly. All the townsfolk expose themselves, like, so easily.
That's one of my favorite things about Final Fantasy 2/4 is just the number of times that Cecil and his party make mistakes like that.
Like, right off the bat, like, what, unleashing all those
Oh
bombs?
no, we set
like,
an entire town on
whoops.
fire. Yeah.
So... kind of weird is all this lava, or tomato soup as we call it, it works the same way. So if you're standing on solid ground and you push up against a lava tile, it advances the RNG unexpectedly. But if you're actually standing in the tomato soup, it doesn't do that. I always have trouble spotting where this encounter is at. I think it's 2 steps up. Yeah, okay. And normally this is kind of a pain in the ass dungeon. As like a first playthrough of the game, you're probably gonna die against this boss unless you do some grinding. And an annoying thing about this game that people take for granted in later JRPG games, the only places you can save in the game are on the world map. So there aren't any save points in dungeons. So you have to truck it from the world map save point all the way through the dungeon to the boss. And beat the boss. And the bosses in this game are really hard normally, so that can be a pain. It's a pretty difficult game to play through casually. But Salamander could not handle skill level H5, level H7 golden. 4 extra steps? Yeah, okay. So I purposely did 4 extra steps, because that skips an encounter that occurs immediately after exiting that game. It's faster than going to menu by like a second or something. So if I have the opportunity to route small stuff like that, I'm just going to do it because it's... And you get a free magic key from this guy, saving me the trouble of having to go to this town that sells magic keys, of course. That's the spot. And once again, we prep the next area by casting Mini. The gimmick of the next area is to require Mini status to enter some spot.
What is with this game and Minnie and Toad?
I don't know. I think that's actually the last one. Throughout the whole game. Alright, this visual cue I'm really bad at. I believe it's there, and down one. Okay. And I'm parking the boat in a weird spot, because I'll exit the next dungeon from that forest, and I'll have the boat immediately once I exit. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 extra steps to let me skip an encounter that occurs immediately in the next area. So, like, whenever I have to cast Minnie or Toad, I make sure to do it when I'm already in the menu trying to skip the battle. So, just to avoid having to open up the menu solely for casting Minnie or Toad. I'm still Minnie status. I'll just wait for the next encounter to cast Minnie once again, like I was saying. I like this music. Heinz Castle, good stuff. And by the way, my primary motivation for doing this run is just listening to the music.
I was gonna say, you know, a lot of times people get motivated to do a run just by the game music, and I had to imagine that was the primary reason for this one.
Yeah, like I listened to the OST one day and I was like, oh man, this music's awesome, I'm gonna watch the tasks. And I watched the tasks. This was the task before the credits orc was found. And if you want to look it up, it's one of the best tasks I've ever seen. It's so cool. It's by Pirihiko in 39 minutes, and there's no credits warp. He corrupts the shit out of everything else in the game, letting him skip massive areas, and it's almost nothing like what you're seeing here. It's crazy. Definitely watch it. It's pretty cool. And that, like, oh man, I wonder if I can adapt something like this to RTA. And I saw a really old Japanese RTA that does the kind of 99 items trick stuff that I'm doing, and then I also used the run on SDA. Kind of mixed that one with the RTA route. And also the run on SDA is also really good. It's segmented in 10 minutes. The best thing about it is the notes. That run has some sick notes. If you want to read up on why some of the things happen the way they do, go check out the SDA run and look at the notes. Like, it's like some serious notes, and it's like 15 pages of just solid description of everything. So I'm not sure why everybody had a dance right there, but I don't know. This should spit us out right where we dropped our boat off. And we returned to Argus Castle. So doing the whole Hein Castle thing apparently freed a bunch of people that the castle folk here. And the king expresses his appreciation by giving me time gear, of course. Time gear. Not sure why, but I'll take it. Turns out we need time gear. And the person who knows stuff about time gear happens to be Sid. Right across the corner here. Normally you have to bring his wife an elixir, because she's like dying or something, but I just don't do that because I'm a great guy.
Just gonna let her die.
So she's sitting there in bed.
And we've had very similar themes so far. Elite Beat Agents was the same way, just causing tragedies to people in their daily lives. And
just ignoring people who are in need.
Final Fantasy III, yeah. It's probably a good thing we don't have a charity for this, because we'd be donating to hurt people or something.
It's the equivalent of Kill Demons. Alright, musical cue here. Four, 3, 2, 3, 4, turn. Alright. So just use the rhythm of the song to determine when I need to turn, because this is a really big, empty world map. It's hard to tell where to go. Alright. Oh, no, really cool music in these areas.
That was a nice use of a sound cue there.
Yeah, I've got one more like that coming up. I thought it was pretty cool. I was trying to figure out the best way to navigate to some of these arbitrary locations properly, and that seemed to be a good way to do it. And as soon as if I cast exit immediately after talking to this girl, there's going to be an encounter immediately, so I take one step before casting exit, because there's no encounters in this area, but for some reason it still advances the RNG. Kinda neat. The little things like that. Alright, and the next dungeon coming up. So yeah, we're on the main world now. This is a different world map than what you've been seeing before. Up until now, we've been on the floating continent, which was just one area on this huge main world map. It was the first Final Fantasy game, I think, to have parallel kind of worlds like that, which kind of became a regular sort of theme in Final Fantasy, of course. Alright, let's see if I have my encounters properly. That should be the spot. Okay, good. It's normally kind of a pain area, a very relatively high encounter rate, but it's a pretty long dungeon. Is 12 encounters that I skip. 2 have been done so far. What's this one? Here's. So, it'd be really cool to one day have the entire route committed to memory. I have some parts of it memorized, but I really have only done like maybe 6 full runs of the game. 2 hours is probably around my limit for speedruns. I think this is like just the right length for an RPG. It's
I would agree.
Incredible. But
I am
nonetheless,
the same way.
Nonetheless, I still really enjoy RPG runs and have respect for RPG runners, so I just could not do like the 10-hour type runs myself.
Yeah, it's lengthy at that point, and more of an endurance test than anything. But yeah, the amount of thought that goes into solving some of these battles is something that can be appreciated. It's a different skill set, I would say, from, you know, execution-heavy games in like the platforming sense, but it's more that I think RPGs are appreciated because the amount of effort you put into solving everything beforehand and then actually being able to turn that around and execute it.
Yeah, it's really tricky to remember everything when you're going through the game, especially when you need to have, like, there's sections where you need to have precise input very quickly, and you have to remember what you're supposed to be doing, and mismenuing, and just the spots we can save time can be hard to save time because of all the information that you're exposed to. By keeping it all in order and in track for a really long game can be overwhelming. And I'll demonstrate that by showing my notes after this run. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I've seen early parts. I don't know if you've probably changed it since I've last seen it, but it is a lot of information.
Yeah, it's still pretty long. It's still about 50 pages. There's lots and lots of screenshots. You have to format your notes in such a way so that it's readable really fast. You don't want to have to read several lines and get confused, like, oh, I missed some, oh crap, you know, what is it talking about?
It's exactly like dribbling a basketball. You don't want to look down. or you run right into the guy in front of you. You're trying to, you know, read your notes, but not get stuck in them.
Exactly. So you need to know, like, the critical parts of note reading, kind of. When you're making the notes, you have to think, okay, am I going to understand this when I see it? Is it shorthand enough where I can just glance at it and tell what I need to and not miss anything?
See, I've seen the opposite problem, too, because I had, at one point, Worcester's Pokemon notes for one of the, I don't know if it's red or blue, but I was trying to glean things from those, and it's like you're in the middle of trying to follow it, and you get to a battle, and then you look at the notes, and I don't know where I am.
Yeah, exactly.
That's unfortunate when the notes are just a list of moves. You got to figure out where you are in that list of moves.
Turn the page yet? You know, like. Yeah, it definitely requires a certain degree of focus, but yeah, after having run this game, I have more appreciation for that kind of mindset. So it's much faster to just cast exit and re-enter the town than it is to walk through the town. Nice little time saver there. We have these 4 old guys that are acting like the 4 light warriors. Kinda random, but cool music, so. And this dude directs you to the sewers. So anyways, what kind of happened? I went to the water shrine and visited the water crystal, and it made the rest of the world kind of rise up out of the flooded continent. So I'm now in the main world that's not flooded. Like before, there was only like 3 locations in the flooded world. Like the shipwreck, the floating continent, and like that's it. But now there's a whole expansive world to explore. And I won't be exploring most of it, actually. I'll be skipping. Only a few encounters in this area. It's kind of a silly RNG thing coming up that I hope doesn't screw me. So, of course, the 4 old guy light warriors are trying to one-up you in your quest, and in doing so, they get busted by a horde of goblins. This is one of the forced battles in the game that's not a boss battle. 8 goblins. Oh, come on, man, just, okay. Golden's agility is super high, but there's a good amount of RNG in determining turn order, so he still didn't get to go first. So due to NPC RNG, hopefully... okay, so an old guy can get wedged into this thin passage, and I have to sit there and wait for him to get out. If he does. But it didn't happen, luckily.
Oh, that's some good geriatric RNG right there.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. I can't misstep in that area, so I literally have to sit there and wait for him to move. And not make any extra steps. Okay, so apparently the quest at this point is to get, I think it's floating shoes? I think this, like, sewer witch, whatever person, has the floating shoes item. But she doesn't know that I'm the light warrior, so she has fake exploding floating shoes right there that luckily the old guys told me about right before I got killed by. Yeah. Now she's informed and gives me the real floating shoes. Great. This is some stellar writing here. The best story.
Oh man, let's nominate this film for an Oscar, please.
I'm in tears. Couldn't tell. Alright, so, our boat/airship, was right there at the town, but actually it's anchored down. I can't move. This guy named Goldor, this dude who lives in a gold mansion, is jealous of everybody, I guess, and decided to tie down my airship, so I have to go kick his ass. And that one magic key that I picked up earlier, I get to use right here. Actually, there's a ton of locked doors in this area that have, like, some swag in it, but this is the only one that I need. It's the hidden path right here. That lets you skip this really crappy winding maze of a dungeon, and you go right through it. So, dungeon over.
Wow. Alright.
Here's Goldor. Normally, this is kind of a hard boss fight. He changes his weakness. This is one of the first bosses, I think, to have, like, their weak point change. Is this... Wait, is this the guy that changes... I think he changes his weakness. Yeah, he's the one that does that. Or no, wait. I don't know. There's some gimmick to that boss. I forget. So yeah, there's the huge collection of jobs in this game. It's the first, like, job system game, but you won't really see me utilize that much because I'm powered up enough as it is. Anyways, you were gonna say something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'll believe you if you tell me that's what what the case is.
Yeah, he changes his weakness. Yeah.
Not gonna question it. He changes his weakness, and his favorite pizza topping is pepperoni.
There you go.
I'm buying it.
Luckily, being level 166 means he's weak to pretty much whatever I throw at him, so it's alright. Now we grab a chocobo from the convenient forest right here. Just quicker movement.
Good song.
That tune. And we've got a musical cue right here. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Should put me in the right spot. Ah, one tile left. Okay. And I have a safety power on and off right here in case I've messed the route up at this point, but luckily I haven't, so... But I have to do it anyways, because the rest of the route is assuming that I've hard reset right here.
Okay.
So, when I did the 99 Item tricks earlier and turned my Water Fang into an Earth Fang and again into a loot, lets me use the loot right here and wake up the if that's how you pronounce her name, right away. Normally you have to do a whole bunch of shit in the main world to actually get to this point in the game. Actually acquire the loot legitimately before you can wake her up. Including, like, you fly your airship over this town called Salonia and they shoot the airship down, so you don't have an airship and you have to kill these bosses and you have to go get this other ship and go to this dungeon and then you finally find the loot and you come wake this chick up. But, I made a loot out of a fang. And I'm just going to wake her up immediately, and she's going to take me to this other airship. That's a nice little sequence bit right there.
Yeah, it must be Sunday somewhere.
Yeah, I think at this point
I think it is. Works for me.
Sadly, there won't be any world records today because of the debacle I had earlier.
That's alright. We're all about streaming for fun here.
Absolutely.
Do you want to plug the Sunday Sequence Break while you get a chance here? Do you want to explain what it is for people who don't know?
Sure. The Sunday Sequence Break is a speedrunning chat show where we, every week on Sundays, have guests come on the show, and we usually talk about a game of the week for about an hour, and we invite runners of the game, and they talk about strategy, the current state of the game, and, go over some neat stuff, trying to get the game and the sub-community of the game a little bit more exposure. And we also go over recent world records acquired in the community, at least to the best of our knowledge. And we just talk about community events and just have a good time. So you should come check that out if you haven't seen it yet. It's at twitch.tv/TheSundaySequenceBreak on Sundays at 7 p.m.
Linked it in chat. You guys are going on 2 years now, right?
Just about, yeah. We're 85 episodes in, I think.
That is impressive.
We started February of last year, I think. February or March, after AGDQ 2012. It's been going for quite a while. And the whole crew's going to be there at Awesome Games Done Quick this year as well.
Are there plans for a live episode there?
Yes, there are. I'm not sure if it falls on a Sunday. Excuse me, but we definitely plan to do something.
All right. Very cool. Yeah, I know. Last AGDQ actually, we did kind of a pre-recorded Sunday Sequence Break and walked around, and Flicky had kind of told us that we were supposed to follow him around, and so we all got the idea that we were supposed to follow him as he was doing these segments. So he's walking through the hallways, and we're just, like, creepily walking behind him. And after about 10 minutes, he goes, no, guys, you guys are the guests, but we're gonna have you on the couch later. You're not supposed to... So the first few recorded segments have us just, like, creepily hovering over Flicky as he's talking to people.
Like, I didn't even know that he made that instruction, because I thought it was kind of me calling the shots a little bit. I was trying to tell him where to go and tell him when to move on.
Yeah,
and try to stay out of the camera shot, and like he was just kind of rambling on.
Some sort of miscommunication where there were a couple of us that were just following him around for a while, like the paparazzi, and
yeah, you can see.
No, guys, you guys will come later.
You can see that in the shots. Actually, it's pretty funny.
There's a pretty good episode there.
So I screwed up and accidentally walked an extra several steps, so let's get into some battles here. There's a hidden wall that I'm supposed to walk through, and I instead walked around. It's really dumb.
Okay.
But, doesn't matter. It's gonna have to waste just a few seconds. Actually, it'll be a few minutes. So I have to actually have the battles caught up for the next area of the game. It's very complicated. Dude, it didn't kill the guys. Oh my god. Okay, so this could take a while. Actually, I'm gonna have this supposed to run. Maybe he'll actually successfully run. That would be nice. Okay, so this is wasting time. Okay, hopefully that second Ice 2 will do the job. Oh, why is Zost going first? Split now. Shit. Okay, he's dead, finally. Alright.
Well, he had a good run.
Oh, there's one guy still alive, he's gonna split. He didn't split. I'm like 5 or 6 steps behind. I could have taken those guys out with Ice 2. So, I could run from these battles. Running sucks in this game. Running drops your defense to 0, and you have a very low chance of actually running pretty much from every battle. It's the worst part about this game, is the really crappy running. I'm just gonna get into the next battles, I'm not even gonna look at my notes. So I need to be caught up by that airship segment. Oh good, one guy. Okay, strike first. That's a quick one. So that little misstep probably cost about 3 minutes or so.
I know you're probably not thrilled about it, but I actually am glad that you make these mistakes because it just points out the detail that goes in. Like, every step needs to be so precise in this run.
Yeah.
You get to kind of see the consequences of it when it goes wrong.
Yeah, I mean, luckily Golden is so superpowered that, you know, there's no chance of me losing at all, but... Oh, cool, I found something, like a break blade or something weird. Okay. But, yeah, just getting into battles is obviously way slower than going to your menu and casting Cure.
Yeah, I was gonna say the other nice benefit is people who are just tuning in think that you're going full YOLO mode here on 8 HP. they don't have a clue.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Whoops, yep, that was actually 40,008 HP, I think. But it did look impressive. Also, if they're just joining, it looks like I'm actually fighting every battle, and damn, I'm like almost all the way through the game and having fought every battle? Crazy. Ice 2, so little damage. Please, just take him out. Alright, I think the next Ice 2 will do it. Like, normally, okay, so what's really crappy about the monsters in this area and the next area is if you attack them, I think it might just be physical attacks. If you physically attack them and that attack doesn't kill them, they split. Just making the battles really long. And when they split, it forms a copy of that enemy with the same HP that it had when it split. So you can, like, slowly whittle away enemies, but you pretty much want to one-shot all of them. Dude, please! How these guys are super strong, like... Even guys in the next dungeon have less HP than this shit. Alright. Let's just end it. Got one guy still there.
Wow.
And also, I really want to end these battles as fast as possible because there's a chance that their enemies can inflict me with, like, paralysis and sleep and just prolong it even more. Alright, so that dungeon's done. Ugh. I'm still, like, 2 steps behind or something, though. Yeah. The next battles, though, that I get in should go pretty quick. This is kind of a hard routing segment coming up. You have to use the airship Invincible to fly over all these mountains. It's a very high encounter rate area, and it's like this complicated maze. Yeah, Ice Plug. Ice 2 is really weak. I could actually buy a stronger spell at the shop here, but I don't want to take all the extra steps to buy it, so I have to keep on trucking. So this is a cool, like, airship. Like, it has, you know, a place to rest, has Fat Chocobo, it has shops of every kind. Pretty much just like a base. Alright, so we're gonna go straight to the Cave of Darkness now that we have the airship Invincible. I have to complete the Cave of Darkness to access the final area of the game. Let's see where this battle is at. 2 steps behind, so... just need to fight this battle and one more, and we should be caught up. Yeah, you can get in battles on this airship in this area in particular. Okay, so... right. Down, down, down. Pretty complicated path through here. There's the next battle. Okay. And when you're on the airship opens the fight up with the cannon. Pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Some cover fire there. So if I'm understanding correctly, the ship has to hop over the mountains.
Yes. You can only hop over these thin sections of the mountains.
That's Final Fantasy physics right there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Right. And... okay, we're caught. I can skip this battle. Oh, I want a black hole. What the hell? Cool, I don't even know what that does. I think it just does a shitload of damage or something. Alright. Right up. Okay, so this is a very high encounter rate area. Actually, if I use 4 potions, I can skip the next 2 battles. I was talking while I said that. I hope I used 4 potions. Alright.
I looked at it.
Up.
Yeah, you're good.
Up. Okay, I thought so. Up. Left. I want to take this middle path, but I have to hug the right side. And another quick 2 battles, the use of 3 potions. Skip. Alright, now we have really the hardest dungeon in the game, like, both for the speedrun route where you skip everything and to play through normally. The pathing is crazy hard to follow in this area. Actually, as a safe strat, I'm going to keep this guy decked out. Normally I change jobs at this point. You'll quickly see why this is a hard place to route properly. Alright, this guy gives me a sword. I'll get another sword in this dungeon in just a little while. So if anybody's played this game before, you know this dungeon. This dungeon is just really shitty. It's like in the DS version and in the next gen version, it's so much easier. It's so much shorter and easier. Like, it is a dick pain in the NES version. It's so bad.
I was about to ask.
So much larger.
the DS version generally shorter dungeons or longer, or what's the
normally about the same. Except with the exception of this dungeon and the final dungeons are much shorter. I think so, at least. In this game, the final dungeon, like the Silk's Tower, is massive. In the DS version, it's pretty small. It's still really confusing. But I will say that I do enjoy the remakes quite a bit. They're very good games. They do stick to kind of the old style stuff in it. Like, it's still, you know, save points on the world map only, which is what a lot of people hate, but I think it's kind of cool. It means you have to go through the dungeon, and you really have to be ready for that boss, because if you lose, your progress through the dungeon is lost. You know, and it's pretty hardcore, so it makes a lot of the fights. It makes a lot of the fights, you know, really nerve-wracking if you're not. Second hidden path down. Look at all these paths. This gets really confusing. In fact, some of these battle skips are done, like, inside the wall, where it's hard to have visual cues. Alright, that's the one right there.
And just to let you know, I'm gonna be right back really quick here.
Sure.
So feel free to make fun of me when I'm away.
Alright. Golden is bad at video games. You guys watched Mega Man 6? LOL. Am I right, guys? Alright, that's all I have to say. Alright, okay, at this point, I picked up both of the swords. Oh shit, okay. So, this is probably a good time to change jobs to Mystic Knight, one of the few jobs that I actually switched to in the game. Lets me equip these really powerful swords and take out this boss much faster. The boss fight will last a while if I don't do that. Skip right here. Yeah, that golden guy, best Let's Player ever. Oh, nice. Yeah, let's go. But I can't think of anything mean to say about Golden. It's too hard a couple of things. I like the strategy of choosing Mega Man 6, though. It's hard to tell if it's bad gameplay or just bad game. Not bad. Oh shit. Okay. Hard to detect visual cue here. Should have been the spot, though. Should be the spot. And the next battle skips are really strangely placed. And this next one's done, like, entirely inside the wall. I have to count the number of steps that I make. Should be it. So, the navigation, like, in the DS version is so much easier than this. And this, it's just, like, these completely obscured areas inside the wall just suck. Especially if you're exploring and you don't know where to go, and you're just getting into all these really shitty battles with all of the enemies duplicating when you hit them. It's horrible, man. Shit, how do you spot this one? I think it's right there, okay.
Hey, I saw that. These guys...
I'm kidding, guys. Mega Man 6 is actually awesome. I enjoy the game quite a bit.
They trash talked me, but they didn't spam the chat enough.
Mega Man 6
to cover
and
it
Mega
up.
Man X3. Games that need defense as actually good games.
No, I agree though. Mega Man 6 is a bad
4,
game.
5, 6,
Don't play
7, 8. Should be the spot. Oh, here we go. Last battle. Last battle, Skip. Alright. Great job, guys. We made it through the Cave of Darkness without any mistakes. Pretty much every speedrun that I do of this, I make a mistake in the Cave of Darkness, so that's not bad.
Nice.
Look at that. Even with Mystic Knight superpowered with his swords, still takes 2 hits to kill Hecaton. It would have taken like 6 turns or something as the Red Mage. So now I have an Earth Fang. I actually made an Earth Fang earlier on, but it turns out you don't actually need the fangs. You just need to defeat the boss, and that's enough to satisfy the requirement. Okay, so we have backtracking here. I need to change jobs back to Red Mage, actually. Difficult to explain why, but yeah, I just need 2. I need 2 for Ice 2, basically. Yes, you can still get into battles here. Should be right there. Oh man, we broke 1,000 viewers.
Yes, we did. I was not going to say anything because I wanted you to keep focusing there, but
speedruns A to Z.
We went from
Did I fuck up because I was talking? No.
500 to 1,000 in the course of the last 2 runs.
Where the hell am I? Okay, down, down. All right. God, I tried to plug the stream because Golden's not here, and my route is potentially going to get ruined because I just screwed up. Okay. God. Oh man. In my monologuing of describing why I could potentially screw up, I screw up. So, that's what happens. God. I cannot hear Golden, actually.
Test?
No, I cannot hear Golden. In fact, in
What is
Mumble,
going
his
on?
little icon is not blinking.
This is an
Okay, right here. Alright, we're good. People can hear Golden because XSplit is picking up
can you
his
hear me
mic.
now?
Oh, what's up, man? Yeah,
That was weird. My mumble microphone just cut out. I've been back for a little bit.
Ah, dude, okay.
I was
So I've just
trying to
been
say...
talking over you.
Yeah, it was really weird. I don't know why that cut out, but... I was trying not to interrupt you to mention the 1,000 viewers thing because it looked like you were focusing, and then you brought it up yourself.
I just lost focus again and screwed up. Alright. God, this is such a confusing route. Okay, left. It's okay. I'm gonna get into like maybe 2 battles on accident. And then at that point it doesn't matter because we have to set up our 99 item strike shit. How about this? I'm gonna guess where these battles, where this happens at. So I think I took 2 extra steps. So should be good right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I predict that right? Oh, I did! Nice. Okay, so I misstepped, but I was able to keep track of how many steps I missed.
Nice.
Predict where those battles would happen at. Okay, so here we have the 99 items trick, phase 2. The point of this one. So the enemies here drop high potions. So earlier I fabricated a whole bunch of onion shields. Sell them all. $45,000. Not bad. Now I use that to buy a bunch of high potions. And I do the 99 items trick here to fabricate a couple of things. Let me just get this set up and I'll explain. Page... Earth Fang. Alright, so I got another Earth Fang. Remember before, we turned the Water Fang into an Earth Fang, and then the Earth Fang into a loot. Turns out the next item right after loot is a Silk's Key, which is the key necessary to get into the final area of the game. So, just do 2 battles with that Earth Fang using the 99 items trick, and let's just skip a large portion of the game here. And additionally, so that I have enough attack power to end the upcoming battles a little faster, I'm going to fabricate some weapons as well. Dude, these black holes are always taking the spot of my potions in inventory. That's a pain. So, Going to corrupt this loot here. Again, I'm making 2 saves so that hopefully a save file doesn't disappear. Okay. So I've got to do this 8 times, but it's a relatively fast battle setup, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And just like before, you know, I'm saving and powering on and off at a certain spot after having arranged my inventory in a particular way. And then I hold the start button as I power the game on. Let's see, it's Kotetsu. So I now have a Silk's Key, and I'm now going to use both the Kiku and Kotetsu and turn those into some sick weapons. So again, the strategy here is to save and power off in a certain spot, hold the start button as I power on, select the file, hold left, and then I turn right at this particular tile. I have buffer that input, so I make sure to hold right before actually completely moving. And I always encounter 1 sorcerer, 2 M. Helkins, strike first, ice 2 on first round, and get high potion. That's the setup. And this setup only works when with a golden with this particular stat arrangement. That is skill level H7. That high skill level will determine a certain number of RNG rolls when he casts Ice 2. If his skill level is anything else, I'll have a different RNG outcome in the battle. So it's a very particular setup. So anyways, the 99 items trick on that Kotetsu turned it into a Kiku. Now we are going to corrupt the Kikus and move through the items table, slowly turning the swords into stronger and stronger swords. And I have to do this. Okay, we have 5 more to go. And buffering those inputs to ensure that I capture this battle on a particular frame since power on and off. Okay, so the what's up?
Go ahead.
I was just saying
Answer
there's
some questions, but
okay. I'm just fabricating items here so that Kiku turned into 2 break blades, and I'll continue that. So what are the questions? What's up?
some people were asking about the schedule and how long the stream's going to run and such. Just check the Twitch page for this marathon. If you're watching from a different website, go to the Twitch site, and all the information is below the stream.
Nice. We are only on F, so we have what, like 20 runs to go, something like that.
Yes, that is correct.
Plenty of speed gaming and alphabet.
Keeping up good pace, though.
Yeah, I lost a little bit of time, but that's why I gave a little extra time on that estimate. I'm still confident I can make it under 2:30.
Yeah, I actually kind of made a decision for you without maybe you knowing. You submitted it as 2:45.
Oh, I didn't?
So I actually chipped 15 minutes off. That's all on me. If you go over, it's my fault.
Oh, okay. I can't remember. I submitted 2:40? I did? 2:45?
I think so. I know I took 15 minutes off of some run. I couldn't remember which one it was, but I have faith. We'll put it that way.
Okay. RPG, so risky, but yeah, that's fine. I'm sure we'll make
like
it,
I said,
guys.
if it goes over, it's my fault. Everybody can blame me. So
if I ended up completely ruining the run and if it wasn't salvageable, I plan on playing Felix the Cat for the remainder of the time. So I didn't tell you that, but you know, there was a possibility of the run permanently ending at some point, but I developed as many save tracks as I could, and I have never had it completely end. But it's definitely possible. Like, okay, there's a chance that an enemy can cast Break on me. This is like the 3rd to last boss, and it can kill me instantly. My backup strat is to equip an onion helmet, which has resist break, so hopefully that doesn't happen. I've had it happen once out of like 100 attempts without that helmet equipped, so I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen, but yeah, it could. Anyways, so we fabricated, what was it, 2 Excaliburs out of those break blades, turned the Excaliburs into Masamunes, turned the Masamunes into Ragnaroks. Am I in Ragnaroks right now? I think so. And then this should be the last one. Yeah. Alright, let's check. I should have 2 onion swords. Oh man, those onion swords. Super powerful. Alright. So, if Golden wasn't godlike enough, there's pretty much no way anybody can survive him at this point. Watch his attack power. 50, 224, 448. Yeah, super strong. Oh yeah, and the onion helmet. Not bad. And let's see. Okay, so it's kind of weird. I have to position this thing at a spot. I think this is... So, I might have misrouted something. I think there's a chance that I can get into a battle. I've been getting into a battle at this next part for some reason the last few times that I played the game, so let's see if that happens again. I haven't figured out why it's happening. I have to go back through with an emulator and pay attention to the counters. Should be right here. So you're supposed to have all 4 of the fangs to be able to cross through all of these statues. But you actually don't need any of them. You just need to complete the event that gives you the fang. In this case, the Earth Fang is supposed to be the last one. Alright, let's see if I get that. Oh, no battle. Okay, so that's what I wanted. So because I acquired the Earth Fang, it doesn't matter whether or not I actually have it. The fact that I acquired it lets me pass through all of these. Ocean. Got the onion shit ready to go. That was it. Back to the airship. Alright. So, destroyed all the statues. Actually, if you haven't completed the requirement for one of the statues, the game kills you. Yeah, you just die. It's your save. Pretty shitty. So we're entering the final area of the game. It's a pretty lengthy section still. It's 3 dungeons back to back. First up is the Ancient's Labyrinth, and in a normal playthrough you actually enter this place twice. The first time you enter it, you have to fight Titan, then you have to go back and go to Dorga's cave and fight Dorga and Un. We haven't even seen Dorga. This is some guy. Storyline. And they give you the Silk's Key, and then that's how you're normally supposed to access the Silk's Tower. But we made our own Silk's Key, so we skip right past that door that has Titan inside, and we're just going to go straight to the final area from here. But, okay. This is another long and pain in the ass dungeon when you're playing through it the first time. This dungeon is so much shorter and easier on the DS version, or on the remakes, rather. It's just like huge corridors and mazes in this version. Like, it kind of is on the DS and PSP version, but you have a pretty low encounter rate in that version, and it's not as maze-like. It's still pretty long corridors, but in this one, it's just so confusing. So one of the few chests I pick up in the game is right here. And this chest contains a dark scent. This is kind of a clever little strat for you fight the final boss kind of twice. The first time you fight it, it's a scripted battle that you're intended to lose in the lovely Final Fantasy fashion. Spot right there. Okay. And actually, because Golden is so ridiculously powerful, it takes forever to lose the battle. In fact, Dark Cloud only does like 800 damage to you. If it was only her attacking you, it would take like 60 turns to end the battle. But even attacking yourself, it still takes like 10 turns. But if you pick up a Dark Scent, you can use it on yourself and kill yourself instantly. Much easier way to end the battle. And even though Golden's super powered, for the scripted battles like that, like Dark Cloud and earlier on in the game, Nepto and Bahamut, the battles you're supposed to lose, you can survive if you're super powerful. But if you win the battle, it just treats it as if you had lost the battle, so there's no
benefit to doing it.
Right. So it just pretends that you lost. It's kind of weird. There's something I always think of is, some RPGs have like the fabled like scripted battle sequences that people try to win. Like, is there a way to win this battle? Like you're supposed to lose it. I always think of If anybody's ever played Breath of Fire 3, awesome Capcom RPG, like one of the coolest, one of my favorite RPGs. A really great soundtrack. The battle scripted early on in the game when you fight these two guys named Baleo and Sunder. And I remember when it came out, people are on these forums like coming up with like this crazy setup. It's like, oh man, I swear I was able to kill these guys one time, and then all this shit happens, and you get this party member who died back in your team, and you're like, no way, dude, get out of here. Like back in the GameFAQs days, remember that?
Oh yeah.
The rumors
Back
kept
when
us going.
GameFAQs was your #1 trusted site for video game information.
The message boards. Oh. All right, that's the Ancient's Labyrinth, and we have a lovely backup save and hard reset right here. Once again, this is the last one, and we have the best tunes in the game. So sit back and enjoy the music. The best tune. And there's no serious strategy from here on out. It's just kind of walking through, skipping battles, and we're gonna nuke the final boss. And there's that silk ski that I made at work. Beats having to do all that other bullshit. Trying to operate scroll wheel while I walk around. Before, when I used to play this on emulator, I'd have my Google Doc up, and I actually used Joy to Key to bind the arrow keys to my R2 and L2, and
So
I
your
used that to
controller
scroll
is
with.
moving
Yeah.
your notes while you... That's kind of cool. Never have to
Yeah,
take your hands off the controller.
That's exactly right, yeah. I just had to make sure the notes always had focus or else it wouldn't work, but, you know, I thought it was kind of cool, but I can't do that anymore. Let's see. Oh, actually, also I'll plug something else. I'll be playing this at Crystals for Life, which is an RPG marathon in Canada next May. Lots and lots of RPGs and runners will be there. It'll be live. Should be really fun.
I was about to ask if you were going to be a part of that or not, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of the right game for me to play, I think. You know, it's not too long, and I think it'll fit in right there. And I'm a big fan of a lot of the RPG runners in the speedrunning community, so... It's my spot here. Okay, here we go. I can't remember if that has its own page? Own stream page?
I don't
but-
remember if they hosted it on... Was it Poxnor's channel, or did they...
I can't remember if it was on Poxnor's channel or not, but...
If somebody has the page, feel free to link it and help us out here, but...
Yeah, you know, it's several months away, so there'll be more information about it floating around the community once the date approaches. I'll be tweeting about it and stuff, of course. Be sure to follow me on Twitter if you want to hear about that stuff. And check out the SDA forum. I think it's the sub-forum Community Marathons and Meetups. You can see the current status of that marathon as well as any other community-organized marathons people post on there. Should be pretty fun. I can't wait. I've never been to Canada, so cool place to meet up with some old friends, meet some new friends, play some games, see the sights.
Yeah, I think a theme marathon would be kind of fun too, because then you all have that same general interests anyway. I mean, obviously everybody has an interest in speedrunning at the big marathons, but you get a big variety of games too.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of people registered to that and going now, so it's like basically an SGDQ like 2012 at this point.
It's kind of turning into a convention almost, just the amount of people who are going.
So I mean, with that, there's with that in like ESA, geez, there's like at least 4 live marathons a year. And if there's going to be like Chicago-thons or whatever, also in the future, it's there's almost like monthly live marathons, not just not just online marathons. So it's cool how participation has ramped up so much in the speedrunning community recently. If not evidenced by the ridiculous turnout rate at AGDQ last year, and even more so this year.
Yeah, the goals are set high for AGDQ. I think we'll continue to surprise ourselves with how much money gets raised and the amount of viewers we've been getting.
Yeah, the guesses that have been made for the amounts making at next AGDQ are just crazy, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually met some of those targets. Like, it's going to be wildly successful. Whatever happens, it'll be so successful and so much fun. It's going to be awesome. Of course, AGDQ is coming up, January 4th. I think the marathon itself is starting on the 5th?
On the 5th, correct. Yep, that week. The 5th to the 12th.
And so I'll be there. Golden's going to be there. There's going to be a lot of people going.
Yeah,
I don't even know where to start listing people.
It's the place to be if you've been a part of the community. AGDQ is kind of the culmination of the whole year.
The speedrunning mecca. Alright, so that's the Silks Tower. We have a little bit of cutscenes here before we move on to the final dungeon. Oh man, we're over 2 hours? Okay, so my best time in this game is 1 hour and 58 minutes. So, mostly from that reset back at Jin kind of screwed me up. I got into, 1 extra battle on the airship, and like 4 or 5 extra battles in the, was it Water Temple? No, it was, I can't even remember the name of the dungeon, but yeah. A few extra battles, and mostly the reset from the Jin fight earlier. Caused me the time loss, but this next section should only take about a little less than 10 minutes, I think. And kind of like the Cave of Darkness, the Dark World, the route is a little tricky. There's a lot of hidden passages. The visual cues for which tile to stand on, it's kind of hard to keep track of. Also, the hub area of the Dark World, it has these out-of-bounds tiles that are kind of like water tiles, so if you press up against them, it advances the RNG, so I have to walk very carefully in that area. But other than that, when I go to the Dark World, you pretty much just have to go to these 4 Dark Crystals and fight these bosses there, freeing the Dark Warriors, which will help in fighting the final boss. It's a required thing before you fight the final boss. So real quick, we're going to fight Zonde here. This guy's kind of a pushover. And if you pay close attention, Zonde will cast Libra on me, and you'll see my true HP value at the bottom of the screen. It'll flash just for a brief moment. But if you pay attention, you should be able to see it. Okay, well, I actually didn't press the button, so you could tell it was 42,528, something like that HP.
Yes.
Shit load. And I don't know why the HP value is correctly represented there, but not anywhere else in the game. Kind of weird. Alright, first Dark Cloud fight. It's supposed to be an unwinnable battle, but here's the trick up my sleeve to get this going. Oh, it was ineffective. Oh no, okay, yeah, that's right. Oh, it's my backup strat.
Oh
it's
no.
My backup strat. It's all the backup strat. Okay, so it's because I equipped the onion helmet. Oh, I forgot to make that modification in the route. Okay. So the backup strat is to equip an onion helmet so I can survive at this one attack coming up. But equipping that prevented the Dark Set from working on me, so now I have to kill myself. Alright, so, okay, it only took 4 rounds, but, kind of silly. This is one of those random things you gotta think about.
Yeah, we've learned today that if my friends don't kill me, I'll kill myself eventually. So, I mean, just positive lessons being learned all marathon long.
Yes, yes. Pay attention for elements of trust moral values to follow. If it makes you feel better, the entire party gets revived at this point. So, we have Poochie use pizza, and Zosti will get some action. Very, very brief lead. They're there, man. I'm sorry, used P. Used pie. There you go. But actually, in this game, once you've entered this area, okay, not the area I'm going into, but the area where I just fought Zonde at, that last part of the Silk Tower, once you enter that area, you can't go back. There's no save points from here until the end. And actually, like, you need to level up quite a bit in this area to survive the final boss, so... like, usually quite a bit, if, unless you've already, like, power leveled up to this point. So that's kind of a pain in the ass, like, spinning all the time, going through the Silk's Tower without saving, and then going through the Dark World without saving, leveling up a bunch, and then fighting the final boss, hoping you survive. Mess up, there goes, like, hours of gameplay. Pretty fucking hardcore. So this game gets a lot of criticisms for being so difficult and so anal about saving.
Sticking you at the end.
Yeah, in the worst way possible. And, like, the final boss doesn't even have, like, real AI. Like, it just casts Flare Wave every turn, so you just need to be able to survive that. If you can survive that, then you can make it, but there's no real strategy other than to survive just, like, relentless casts of Flare Wave. And actually, in the DS version, they changed up Dark Cloud a little bit. There's, like, these 2 additional targets in the Dark Cloud fight that do random stuff, and Dark Cloud casts a whole bunch of spells. It's still kind of tricky. You still need to level up quite a bit to be able to survive it, but it's not as, like, straightforward spamming Flare Wave in that game. Alright, so Zost, Poochie, use pizza, what you got? Nothing. Oh, Zost, 8 HP, the survivor. Can he make it through this turn? Lightning, once again. Oh, Zost gets an attack off, miss. Ah, Thunder round 2. There he goes. Damn. It's the thought that counts. We need you guys as corp support.
I guess I'll carry these guys to the end if I have to.
Can be a burden, but you are level 166 with 42,528 HP and 448 attack power, doing about 15,000 damage a hit. So, I think you got it covered. Yeah, so even though the damage values say 9999, I'm actually doing much more damage than that. It's more like 12 to 16,000 damage. Okay, so that's one of the 4 dark crystals taken care of. 3 more to go. And it's the next boss, Echidna, that can cast Break 2 on me, or Brack 2 as they call it in this game. So hopefully the addition of the Onion Helmet will lower the chance of that working on me. Never had it happen to me in a long run, but it happened once in practice. Once. Again, touching the out-of-bound tiles in this section are the same as water tiles. Gotta navigate carefully, or else the RNG will be advanced unexpectedly. This area is 1 encounter in this area. Tile before the hidden passage, right there. Alright. And the Echidna fight. Quake. His attacks always occur in the same order, so I think he's going to use Brack 2 on the next turn if he survives this attack. he did survive. Frack 2, ineffective. Alright, we're good. Dumb how the run could come down to that, but very low chance of happening normally, and even lower with the onion helmet, but looks like we're gonna beat the game, guys.
We're gonna make it. You gotta love that though, when you make it all the way through the run and you think you're set for a while, and then there's a potential.
Yeah, and like this, and like a serious potential like screw up too. Like I made the last save I made was right before entering the Silk's Tower, which was about 10 or 15 minutes ago, something like that. That'd be tragic. I would just fire up Felix the Cat for the remainder of my block.
I was gonna ask you about that. How long is Felix the Cat?
About 26 minutes.
We could probably sneak that in if you'd like to tack it on. It's up to you. You don't have
No,
to.
that's okay. No, that's okay.
One and done.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you were.
I'm good.
You were set for it or not, but
No, definitely not. I just wanted to, if I did screw the run up, I didn't want to just embarrassingly like, well, sorry guys.
oh, I see.
I could either reset or you can start at speed.
It was fortunate enough that you
2 hours early.
had another game with F at the start, just in case.
Yeah, exactly. I think Final Fantasy III was the only submission for F as well.
Yeah, some of these games or letters only got 1 or 2 games submitted, and it made the decision process a little easier anyway.
That's good. I'm glad we got a full alphabet though. And, you know, with some stretches.
With some
but
stretches, but
yeah, it's good.
I think it works. I'm gonna roll with it.
I mean, with legitimate mission for like Q, I mean that's enough. Like,
Yeah.
we made that one.
I can't tell you though the number of times I tried to ask people for Quest 64 and couldn't get it.
Oh man.
Nobody wanted to be that guy.
What happened to all the Quest 64 hype? SGEQ just like put it to rest, I guess.
Yeah, I think that was the point at which every Quest 64 runner buried their cartridge. I don't know.
It wasn't, well, surprised it wasn't after the low percent Quest 64 on AGDQ 2012 bonus stream. I think it was 2012 though, at least. That actually happened.
You know, some people are pointing out too the schedule is biased towards Mega Man and Zelda, and my response to that is yes.
Deal with it?
Absolutely.
Maybe? Hey, at least I get to hear Mega Man next to Zelda when it comes to popular games. I'll take it. Oh no, too much Mega Man. Guess I'll just have to have a bad time. Okay, that's it. One more sub-dungeon to go here. This one goes by pretty quickly, too. I'm impressed that there could be so much Mega Man, where every Mega Man game starts with the letter M.
And we haven't managed to put an M in, yeah.
Wait, is the M game actually a Mega Man game?
No. It is not.
Nice.
We had D earlier, Dr. Wily's Revenge. We have R.
Speaking of D, here's the best boss, the two-headed D.
the
everyone's
two-headed
favorite.
D.
Oh yeah, notorious boss there.
Good name.
Damn, check that damage out. 6,000 damage, 5,000 damage. Wow. So I'm glad this ends pretty fast. I can't take the D very well, but we survived it.
Rest in peace, two-headed D.
Yep. Goes. Alright, so the Dark Cloud is now vulnerable. Just gotta walk back, of course. Making sure I have the right eps up. Alright, here we go. Black, okay, so it rearranges your inventory after a battle. Every time you go through a battle, it decides that your inventory needs to be rearranged. And it's actually because of this that some of those glitches worked. But it's kind of annoying because I picked up that random black hole from fighting in a battle, and I keep having to move my high potions back to the first slot because of that. Kind of crappy. Alright, legit final area of the game, right here, last room. Also a little tricky negation here. I literally have, like, screenshots of maps with arrows drawn to figure this shit out. And... and that's it. Okay. Final boss time. And since we have a little bit of free time, I'm gonna let the boss play a little bit. You hear the awesome final boss stuff. So if I didn't free all those Dark Warriors, you could still come and fight the final boss, and I think you can actually kill it. But since you're not supposed to win, it treats it as a loss anyways, so game over. Oh, the good tunes, good tunes. Alright, Golden, get ready on the timer. On the next round of attacking, it should be over.
Alright.
And... time.
Alright, I think I stopped it at the right time, maybe a little bit late, but I got about 2 hours and 19 minutes.
Cool. Excellent, excellent.
Very good.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody. I know it's I know how much you guys love lengthy JRPGs with turn-based battle systems, but hopefully that was entertaining, filled with glitches, and hopefully interesting route, great music. Try to give good commentary.
Absolutely. I liked the commentary. It was very detailed, and I think people picked up on it pretty easily. And the music. Love the music in this game.
Hell yeah. Good stuff. I think it's just short enough to keep people's attention.
Oh, I'm not sure.
No.
I was thinking about this. Is this the first time that Final Fantasy III's been in a marathon?
Yes. Yes.
Very cool.
It's the first time an NES Final Fantasy has been in a... I think so. Been in a speedrunning marathon, yeah. I think that's correct.
Well, there you go.
And the first one done live will be... okay, well, there's been several SNES and PlayStation era Final Fantasy games done at GDQ events. None of the NES games, actually. Still looks like there won't be. Of course, shoutouts to Fiesel of Final Fantasy 1 fame. He was doing attempts all this week, and he recently got subscriber, I believe yesterday, so...
Nice.
Go subscribe to the Easy Fees. I think he's still playing through some Final Fantasy, and of course he plays every other NES game ever made.
The whole entire library.
Pretty much. Yep. Thanks Golden for having me on. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate the acceptance of FF3.
No problem. It's great to have you. Guys, be sure to follow Duckfist, by the way, too. His Twitter and Twitch are listed below there. And, of course, the Sunday Sequence Break every Sunday.
Absolutely, thanks. Yeah, so I'm on TSSB. Be sure to show up tomorrow at 7 Eastern on the Sunday Sequence Break channel for some goodness. And, okay, I think coming up next is The Great Gatsby.
Yes, it
by
is.
Ness Kamikaze, so... sorry to clear out everybody for that, because that deserves the real fame, but, hopefully you guys will stick around for it. It's pretty crazy. We actually had a TSSB episode on The Great Gatsby. It was one of the first episodes.
Yes.
A long time ago. interesting to say the least. You'll find a lot of parallels with the classic story. And what else do we have coming up, Golden, by the way?
Well, we have Great Gatsby coming up immediately after your run, and then we've got Hotline Miami
Oh, man.
with cute Fluffy Bunny.
That's gonna be good.
And then we have I is for Super Metroid, as some of you people have been saying. We'll explain why Super Metroid is on I when we get there, although some of you have already clued in.
Metroid I guess? No, it even says Metroid 3 at the beginning. Okay, that's all I got. That's all I got.
Alright.
Cool, well, we can start the next one whenever you want.
I was going to ask, yeah, does this play out here?
Yeah, there's probably about 5 minutes of credits left.
Okay.
But it depends on how we're on schedule. I'm free to cut the stream if you like. Feel free to go on. If Ness is ready.
We actually have a little bit of time still, so
Okay.
we can go ahead and let it play out.
Alright, some good credits music, and you'll get to see all of the characters that made it through the game and their levels and stuff, so. And you get to see, it goes back to characters and places that I was never actually at during the run, so interesting. Like how you never actually see this room in the airship. And I like how fast this airship is going. There's an airship that I didn't get in the run because I skipped the whole Salonia section. You get this ridiculously fast airship in that right before getting the airship invincible. And it's actually a submarine airship. You can't actually land on land, you can land in water, and then it goes underwater, and there's this whole underwater world with a couple of dungeons to explore. So, on that note, like, it'd be cool to see a glitchless run in this game. It'd be about 5 hours long, if there were. I'm not up to the task, it's a little too long of a run for me. I'm not too familiar with how the route works, it's probably a very complex route. Be much different than what you're seeing here. But I think in the Japanese RTA community, glitchless is kind of a thing, and there's a few runs up on the Nico. But I kind of just made this category up. Like, I wouldn't have had to call it this until, so I started routing it, and this was just RTA when I started routing it, and then Credits Warp thing came out a couple of weeks into my routing, and I was kind of upset that, well, I can't call that any percent anymore.
There goes my category.
So I'm like, well, what do I call it? And figured No Job Glitch was a pretty good explanation of what was going on. I don't know, it's fun. I don't care that it's kind of a random category and there's no competition. It's just a fun.
No, you play what you want to play. I mean, I did Lunar Dragon. That's like the definition of I made a category that I wanted to do.
Yeah, but I mean, they have same premises, cool and fun, so
yep.
Whatever. And that was one of the more successful runs at SGDQ, I think. It had great response. I'm glad I got to see the whole thing. Yeah, there's a few, Deep Thought 42, there's a few people that run FF4, yeah. It's Abda Jr., yeah, Brosentia does runs of that as well, and Reign of Soten. I don't think either of those three players are actively running it, but they have done runs in the past. FF4 is a cool run. Useler does runs of FF4, cool. So it's a fun watch, I'd be happy to see some of that. Okay, so here are our players. We missed that there was Golden and Zosti. Guys that are actually somewhat high level and capable. Poochie made it to level 8 somehow, as a corpse.
Congrats, Poochie.
Nicely done. Onion Knight the whole way through. Use Pie, also a great guy. That corpse support. Couldn't have done it without you guys, man. And this was the NPC in the very first, or in a Cave of the Seal. Sid, of course, was the guy with the gave us the airship and repaired it with the time gear. Desh was the guy that we found on Bahamut's Nest, and not sure. I forget what Elia does, because we never encountered her in this run. Oh, the four old men, fake light warriors. They have a cool theme. Kind of quirky.
Man. Sounds like
Yeah.
a movie.
Could literally just call them the four old men, yeah. It's weird. Oh, Alice and Dorga, two other characters we never saw. How about that? Integral parts of the story. Oh, Oon, yeah, we woke her up with the loot. And that's the staff.
All right. Cool.
Good stuff. You know, if Ness is ready, if you want to
Yeah.
go on, I'm down.
We're gonna go ahead and switch it up here and get Ness in here. So thanks again, Duckfist.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Just stick around, watch some The Great Gatsby with the lovely Ness Kamikaze. It's gonna be good stuff. Lots of speedruns to come throughout the rest of the day, guys, so stay tuned in. You'll see me lurking in chat. Thanks again, Golden. Thanks again, everybody, and I'll see you on the streams.
See you then. Thanks
Later.
again.
Mhm.